up kind of where we left off from last week. In fact, with the last verse that we looked at last week, Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and other people who've come to find him, to pick on him about his teaching, to try and get him to perform more miracles rather than give them the answers that Jesus knows they really need. So Jesus doesn't perform the miracles. He gives them the answers they really need. They talk a lot about people in the past and the manna that God had given them on their journey up from Egypt. And he says, your ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, yet they died. But here is the bread that comes from heaven, and everyone may eat it and not die. You won't be hungry. Jesus will forever look after you if you put your faith in him. Now, let's move that out of the way. So to remember that, we're going to make some never-ending bread today. And the first thing we need to do is make our paper bread coloured. So to do that, step 1. We use a tea bag dipped in hot water to stain a piece of paper. So I've got some hot water here. You don't need a lot, just a very little bit. And then you can use that in your tea bag to just colour your paper a bit so it's a bit more bread coloured than paper coloured. Okay, so this is step 1. Now obviously you don't really want to sit here for 10 minutes and watch this paper dry. So I made one earlier. Here is my dry tea stained paper. So on to step 2. Okay, the first part of step 2, I need to fold my, cut my paper in half. So to make that easier, I'm going to fold it first, and it needs to be this way because we want our paper to be longer and thinner. So I'll just cut that. And then we're going to, for the second part of step 2, we're going to stick these 2 bits of paper together. So I'm going to use my double-sided tape that's from my craft kit, but you could also use Pritt Stick or even sellotape. So here we go. I've folded the corner over so it's easier to peel off, and then I'll stick the 2 bits together. Now I want to make this into a long tube to make my bread, so I'm going to use some more of my tape. Now I'm going to be a little bit fancy and tear my tape into thinner pieces, but you don't have to do this bit. I just found it easier for me. So here we go, and again you could use Pritt Stick or sellotape for this step if you want. You're going to need to cover one of the longer ends in, or the longer sides in either paper, Pritt Stick or double-sided tape. So there we go, 1, 2, that's not too bad, that's probably covered enough. So I'm just going to peel these off now to reveal the sticky underneath. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to roll this round into a tube, and the paper will allow it, the double-sided will allow it to stick. Now if you're using Pritt Stick, you might then just want to leave it a minute or 2 for the glue to set. So I'm going to fold it over and then just curl the end round so that I've got a bit more of a tube than a flat bit of paper. That's step 2 done. Finally, step 3. We're going to put one half of the tube over the other half of the tube like this, and then we're going to put the ends together. Now I'm just going to grab some tape so that I can stick those in place. Now if you're really fancy, you can stick your tape on the end and then thread the end inside. So here we go, 1 and 2. Pull off the ends, pull off the tape. That one didn't come off quite first time. There you go, second time lucky. And then just thread that in. And now I've got kind of pretzel-y bit of bread. But my pretzel-y bit of bread, just like Jesus, has no ending. it just goes round and round and round and round forever. So I'm going to stick this onto my Jesus is cube using more of my double-sided tape from my craft kit, although of course you could use Pritt Stick or sellotape, or even I guess blue tack if you wanted to, but that might fall off. There we go, 1 and 2. And then finally, just to remind me while we've got our never-ending pretzel or bit of bread, I'm going to write the one who will never let you be hungry. It's always there to look out for us and after us if we ask him for help. So here we go, our never-ending bread to remind us that Jesus is always there for us.